A cordial greeting. Today is Monday, July 10, 2023. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia speaking. In this video, I will be talking about a low-pressure system located northeast of Bermuda Island, which has a moderate probability of cyclonic development over the next few days as it moves over waters north of the Atlantic. Fortunately, this disturbance should remain over Atlantic waters without directly threatening any land areas, although in the long term, it could pass near the Azores Islands. I will also provide an update on the forecast related to the strong tropical wave approaching the Caribbean, which promises to bring rain from tomorrow, Tuesday, until Thursday to sectors of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Later, I will give an update on when we might possibly see the next cyclonic development in the tropical Atlantic region. Let's begin by talking about this non-tropical low-pressure system that is expected to acquire subtropical characteristics and possibly become subtropical storm Don. It would be the fourth cyclone of this hurricane season. The National Hurricane Center, as of 2 p.m., maintained a moderate probability of cyclonic development at 40% as it moves slowly over the next 7 days in the Atlantic waters. As I mentioned, at the moment, it doesn't pose a risk. However, in the long term, it could approach the Azores Islands. Nevertheless, there are still many days to observe this disturbance. On the other hand, yesterday I mentioned that a strong tropical wave would be approaching the Caribbean over the next few days. Some models showed a fairly strong system moving through the northern islands of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. I also mentioned that dry air and Saharan dust are present to the east and west of the tropical wave. Additionally, a trough system is causing strong wind shear from the southwest, which has kept the tropical wave weak during today. The models now show a weaker tropical wave compared to what was forecasted yesterday as it passes through the northeastern Caribbean. However, note that it comes accompanied by some showers that will affect the local region during the middle of this week. This projection of showers can be seen in the forecast from the GFS model. You can see that the first showers may reach the Lesser Antilles in the afternoon or evening of tomorrow, Tuesday. The axis of the tropical wave should be crossing over the islands north of the Lesser Antilles in the morning or afternoon of Wednesday, and then reach the region of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands on Wednesday night or early Thursday morning, continuing its trajectory towards the Dominican Republic, where showers are expected from Thursday afternoon until Friday morning. The most significant changes are that the models are now forecasting a slightly weaker tropical wave than projected yesterday. However, some showers are still expected, and according to rainfall estimates, we are talking about between 1 to 3 inches of rain in some sectors of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, equivalent to 50 to 75 millimeters of accumulated precipitation. Although rainy days are expected, fortunately, these rainfall accumulations should not cause major flooding issues. Now, what will be happening in the long term? Remember that we will be closely monitoring the tropical Atlantic region towards the end of July because atmospheric conditions could become more favorable for the development of a tropical wave. In fact, we can see this in the Madden Julian oscillation forecast, where it is clear that a Kelvin wave will be crossing the Atlantic region during the last week of July, opening up the possibility of stronger tropical waves. These favorable conditions are identified by the green colors in this forecast. At least for the next 7 days, unfavorable conditions for cyclone development will dominate the Atlantic region, so no development is expected during the next 7 days. By the end of July, the passage of a Kelvin wave and then the onset of a phase of the Madden Julian oscillation could create more favorable conditions during the last week of July and the first week of August. In fact, some models like the ensemble of the European model already show some signs of possibly some low-pressure systems associated with tropical waves moving through the tropical Atlantic during the last week of July. However, this signal at the moment is quite weak, and we simply have a 20 to 25% chance of tropical depression development during the last week of July. The good news is that for now, in the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and the rest of the United States, we don't have any cyclonic threats. It is only possible that a subtropical storm develops, which would be named Subtropical Storm Don, and it will be moving over open Atlantic waters. Although in the long term, it could pose some interest for the Azores Islands. Well, that would be all for today's update. I will record another video as soon as something changes in this forecast. I hope you all have an excellent week.